Hello and how's it going? Zach D Productions here, and I am here for another one of these movies that I checked out recently videos. So we actually have more movies here this time around compared to last time. And for this list, we do have quite a few Tom Cruise movies for this list. Now, Tom Cruise, of course, a big name when it comes to action movies, and I've been checking out a lot of his movies recently, and I've really enjoyed a lot of the stuff that he's been in. So, of course, quite a few of his movies are going to be featured on the list, and of course, I'll be talking about a lot of the movies that I checked out recently and just let you know my thoughts on them. So I think we'll start off with the Tom Cruise films. So I think the first one we'll jump to here is Top Gun from the 80s. This is the original. Now, I actually did check out Top Gun Maverick before checking out the original. Probably should have been the other way around, but oh well, it is what it is. What can you do, right? Very solid film for sure, and definitely a classic. And I believe I heard somewhere where when this movie came out, it actually inspired a lot of people to join the Air Force and become pilots and everything. So I think that's really cool that this movie sort of had an impact there. Of course, the scenes in this film with the jets flying, of course, stand out, like with the new one, Top Gun Maverick. I mean, both films do feature some great scenes with the jets. Now, when it comes to comparing the two, which of the two do I think is better? I personally do prefer Top Gun Maverick, but that's just me. I know that a lot of fans would prefer the original, and that's fine. I mean, honestly, not much separates the two. I mean, I honestly would say that both the original and Top Gun Maverick are basically on the same level of greatness. But yeah, there's really no wrong answer between the two. So Top Gun, really great film for sure. Definitely a classic. Next, we have Mission Impossible Fallout. And for those who don't know, this was actually my introduction to the Mission Impossible films, and I'm not exactly sure what the consensus is on this film is in particular, because I know that some people might say I should have started off with one of the earlier ones, maybe even the very first. I don't know, I just decided to start off with this one for some reason, and I will say that when I watched it, I did enjoy it. I thought it was very solid. It has some great action to it, and, you know, some notable scenes, of course, like in the first half of the movie with that skydiving scene, which is just visually very epic to watch. Same with the bathroom fight scene, which I thought was really cool as well. So, yeah, some great action, just really good action movie, I'd say. So, of course, Mission Impossible Fallout. I know that they are coming out with a new one in 2023. I'll probably check that one out at some point around when that comes out. I'll probably get around to checking out all the Mission Impossible films at some point. So there you go. All right, so the other Tom Cruise film that I checked out recently is Jack Reacher. This was on TV recently, not too long ago, and I've been wanting to check it out for a little bit, so when it was on TV, I just decided to watch it then. It's an okay movie. I mean, I would say that I liked it, but I didn't love it, though. The action in this movie, it's not really anything worth writing home about, but it's not bad, though. It gets the job done, I'd say. This movie definitely focuses more on the, you know, the mystery crime-solving stuff. And you do find yourself kind of invested in the story. Now, a little fun fact about this movie was actually filmed in my city. I was looking at some scenes in the movie, and I'm like, wait, I think I've been there before, and sure enough, it was filmed in my city. You know, one of the moments that especially standed out to me was towards the beginning when the sniper was in the parking garage. I'm like, hey, wait a minute, I think I've been in that location before. So, yeah, I noticed that, and I'm like, well, that's pretty cool. The movie was filmed in my city, so there is that. Yeah, not really something that I think I'm going to return to all that much. Again, I think it's an alright movie. Nothing mind-blowing or anything, but it's okay. It's an okay movie. So, moving on from the Tom Cruise stuff, next we have some Jason Statham films, and first we got The Transporter 2. Now, this is actually, this copy of the Transporter comes with the first and the second. Now, the first one I did feature on my last list, but recently I did check out the second one. Now, the second one, definitely not as good as the first, but still pretty good, I'd say. I do think that they kind of amped up the action a little bit. But even in saying that, I still don't think it's as good as the first. But still, Transporter 2, pretty good, I'd say. And same thing with the next one, Transporter 3. I checked this one out recently. I'm not exactly sure how I would rank this trilogy, but all I know is that this one is also not as good as the first. When it comes to between Transporter 2 and 3, that's a little tough for me to decide. I'm not really sure at the moment which of the two I like more. Maybe one of these days I'll have a definitive opinion on that, but as of right now, I'm not sure. But I do like the action in this movie. It's really good, especially the ending with the train, you know, when Jason Statham, you know, drives the car on the train, which is just epic, really is. But yeah, pretty solid film. Again, both 2 and 3 are not as good as the first, but still, I think they're solid films for what they are. So next, we have A View to a Kill, which is a James Bond film, and honestly, probably one of the weaker James Bond movies, and I think others would say the same thing. This is one of the Roger Moore James Bond films, and now I heard somewhere where they actually did more Roger Moore films than they wanted to, or more films than necessary, basically. Like, they made way more films with Roger Moore than they should have, basically. And you can kind of tell the age in Roger Moore in this movie. I mean, is the movie awful? Not necessarily. I think there is some cool moments in the movie for sure. The action scenes, they're cool. I do like the action scenes, but besides that, the movie is kind of just average, I'd say. But not all bad. I mean, but there have been better James Bond movies than this for sure. So, A View to a Kill, overall, I'd say it's a decent film. So, there you go. So next, we have Indiana Jones and the Last Crusade, which honestly I do think is the best of the Indiana Jones films. Of course, Harrison Ford's performance in this movie is just always spot on, excellent. You also have Sean Connery in here as well as Dr. Jones, I believe. Or Professor Jones. I'm just going by the back here. He was the original James Bond, for those who don't know, so it's really cool that he's in the movie. And yeah, definitely a classic film that features some great action, just a great adventure movie, and just really excellent, really cool. So yeah, great movie, definitely a classic, and again, probably the best of the Indiana Jones films. Honestly, I'm actually of the opinion that there is no bad Indiana Jones film. Even The Kingdom of the Crystal Skull is alright. I mean, it is probably the weakest of the indie films, but even in saying that, it's not bad. So, yeah, but The Last Crusade, really great one. Okay, so the next movie up, well, it's not really a movie, it's more of a show, and that is WandaVision, which is a Marvel show. And you know, when this first came out, I had very little interest in it, but I did check it out recently, and I'm actually pleasantly surprised by it. I actually enjoyed it more than I expected. You know, after watching this movie, Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness definitely makes a lot more sense now. You know, with the things with Wanda, Scarlet Witch, or whatever, you know, that aspect of the show, you know, definitely makes sense. And even the things with Vision I thought were cool. You know, you do find yourself kind of invested in the story and everything. So yeah, WandaVision, pretty good Marvel show, and I'd say it's probably one of the better Marvel shows, I'd say. Pretty good one. All right, so the last film here is also something Marvel related, and that is Captain America: Civil War. And honestly, I think that this is probably the best of the Captain America films. I know that many people would say the same thing, but The Winter Soldier is really close. I mean, it's almost as good as Captain America Civil War, in my opinion. But this film here, it's kind of like another Avengers film, you know, because it does feature a lot of the Marvel characters. Basically, the plot of this movie surrounds this idea on basically whether or not superheroes are good for society because of, you know, the consequences and, you know, the casualties that they might cause, you know, in the long run. You know, it definitely goes into some topics of loss and, you know, all that stuff. And the action as well, pretty solid Captain America film. Definitely worth checking out if you haven't checked it out already, especially if you're a Marvel fan. Honestly, I'd say that this is one of the best Marvel films. Probably not top 5 or anything, but maybe top 10 or top 15. Now, when it comes to the MCU films, it's probably in the top 10, but Marvel films overall, I'm not sure. But yeah, pretty good film, I'd say. So there you have it. That is a list of some movies that I watched recently, and I gave you my thoughts on them. So let me know what you think. Do you like these movies? What do you think of them? Have you seen them? Feel free to let me know. So on that note, thanks for watching, and this will probably be my last video of 2022. So the next time I upload will probably be in 2023, or at least that will be when you see my next video. So of course, see you guys in 2023. So once again, thanks so much for watching, and have a good one. Take care, guys.